Hey everyone. All right, so here we are finishing the week with a great day, up almost $4,000. I traded in two accounts today, my main account and my retirement account, which is good, making progress on both sides. And I'm just happy to finish the week here, well, Thursday, 2,000, Friday, 4 grand. So $6,000 in the last 2 days is a terrific finish to the week. So a green week, that's what I wanted, that's what I needed. And we had a really great opportunity today. So we'll break it down in the recap. We'll talk about the entries, the exits, how I found it, and how I knew pre-market when it was up only about 100% that this stock had the potential to make a big move. All right, so, and remember, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, I'm gonna go live on Facebook and YouTube, where I'll be talking about whether or not we're gonna be seeing a recession, from my standpoint. Some questions about gold trades, ETFs like the VIX, trading SPY calls and puts, and how to capitalize on the crazy volatility that we've been seeing in the last few weeks of the market. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys all hopefully tomorrow at noon, and the rest of you Monday morning. All right, everyone. So we're going to do our midday market recap here for today. Not a bad day, $2,311. Well, that's in my main account, and I made another $1,643 in my retirement account. So $4,000 a day, well, just about. That keeps the job away. And it's all thanks to PSTV. It's the only stock I traded. So this one, we had it on our watch list this morning. This is going to be a good example to add to the classes. So, let me grab this screenshot and let me ask you guys, hold on. Let me log into the chat room on this computer and then I can screen share. Let's see, new chat login. That's going to kick me. No, that's fine. I can do that. That's not a problem. All right. So I'm going to log myself in here on my other computer. So what I want you guys to do is, those of you who are in the chat room, do me a favor and type how much you made on PTSV today. Let's see. I'm going to got to refresh this. And then I'll put it up on screen share for those of you guys who are small cap. I'm already in the room. Why is it doing this to me? Hang on one second. I gotta log into the dashboard. What's it at now? 1234. All right. So small cap. I'm going here around the other way to get in. All right. So there we go. So let me call out some of these. All right. So I know some of you guys posted your P&L a little earlier, and there's only 960 of you guys still in the room. There's a nice $10,000 one from Chris, 180 from Jason. Good work. Let's see. Here's another one from Mike, 115. All right, not bad, not bad. Making some progress there. I'd like to see some bigger numbers. 404 for Gerald, looking good. Here we go. All right, EB 1,000, Nathan 340, Nassim 5,000, Matt 536, 460, 309. 464, 800, 900, 900, 900, 200, 200, 3,500, 8,000, Vlad, nice work. A couple bigger trades there. 1,000, I mean, you guys are doing well. So, Crystal, you're in the red. All right, well, we got to get back to the drawing board. Unless you were short this stock, there's no reason to be red because this is such a good quality setup. But everyone's in different places in their education, and I know I've botched more than my fair share of A quality setups before. 6,700, 5,800. Nice work, guys. So really good. That's what I like to see. All right. So those of you guys on YouTube and Facebook, get inspired and get excited. A lot of people have been talking this week. Recession. market crashes 1,000 points. We had a 1,000-point swing here from the top on Wednesday or Tuesday to the drop on Wednesday, the bounce here, another drop Thursday, bouncing back up a little on Friday. So 1,000-point swing in the market. People definitely talking a lot about buying gold, talking about TVIX, UVXY, trading the VIX, SPY calls, SPY put, well, mostly SPY puts, but some people may be trading SPY calls off the 200. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in tomorrow's Facebook and YouTube Live that I'm going to host. But one of the things that I will say is that despite this week being a week of recession fears and this and that, I'm going to be finishing in the green. 4,000 today, 2,000 yesterday. Yes, I did lose 2,900 on Wednesday, but I made $2,000 on Monday and about 400 on Tuesday. So, I'm going to walk away green on the week, which is terrific. And overall feeling a little bit better about the momentum. And PTSV or PSTV was straight off the watch list. So let's break it down. This morning, let's go back to time frame, historical data, 9:15 a.m. So at 9:15 a.m. this morning, this stock was at $8.30. And I knew that it was going to be worth trading for a couple of reasons. This met all of my criteria for being a stock worth trading. Those of you guys who have read my book, those of you guys who have are in the starter class, in the pro class, or those of you guys who have watched any of my workshops or webinars, you know that I've got a 5-point criteria for identifying a stock with home run potential. The first, I evaluate the price. Then I look at the gap, then I look at the float, then I look at the volume, and then I look at the news catalyst. And what I'm essentially doing is I'm evaluating whether or not this stock is going to have an imbalance between, supply and demand, right? So when we've got a very low amount of supply, which this stock has, a float of less than 1 million shares, realistically, it doesn't take a whole lot of demand to create the imbalance. On this one, has resulted in a move right now up 230%, but I believe the high was right around 300%, which is pretty incredible. So this met my criteria for being a stock worth trading. So then, Ross, why didn't you just buy it at $8, 100,000 shares, and hold the whole thing up here till 14 or 15, and you would have made $300,000 or $400,000. Well, maybe 600,000 if I really did it well. Okay, so there's a couple things here. Number one, pre-market, we only had 700,000 shares of volume, and we had fairly big spreads. So that would have prohibited me from buying 100,000 shares, without a doubt. I would have had a lot of slippage. Even buying 10 or 15,000 shares would have probably been, I would have had maybe 20 cents of slippage, maybe 30. So, slippage is one factor. There's a limit because the supply level is so low, it is a little bit more difficult to get in and get out. We had this pre-market consolidation here, and my first trade on this was, let's see, we had this move here up to that level. So this was the spot that I was watching right here, 890. All right, so 890 was the pre-market pivot. And you can see we had this pullback, this move up, and then this pullback. Now, what I noticed was that the stock was trending up, right? Had a low here and a low here, but not as low. So it's trending up. So we had this little kind of period of consolidation pre-market. The bell rings and we break that level. So I buy for the scalp there, and it moves up to 964. It then pulls back and pops up to a high of 990. So right in here, we have the first trade, which was decent, but not a total home run. It then comes back up right here and gives another opportunity for a little scalp over 950. A scalp is a small trade, a small win. And that was from 950 up to 1070. It then drops and does this false breakout right here. So when it did this false breakout, it hit 1021 and then dropped right here. I sort of thought this 5-minute pattern is broken because it's come up, it's come down, nice. And then when it failed right here, that for me was kind of a red flag, and I was like, I don't know if I like the look of it. Now, for those that are wondering, where are these levels coming from? They're actually coming from the daily chart. So on the daily chart, right here, I looked over to the left to see where we would see resistance. And this is based on gaps and windows. That's part of chapters 4 and 5 of the Warrior Pro course. So we had right here 1072. That was the high of this level. We had this high right here. We had this one right here. We had this one right here. Right here, a small one right there that I didn't choose to mark. And then we had right here and right here. So I knew that once we broke over 1298, this level, we had lots of room up to 1550. So we'll switch back to the 5-minute time frame. And you'll see we've got 1298 and then 1550. So as we got into these levels where it started to open up, the momentum really accelerated. Now, on this break here of 1020, I actually got back in at, I believe it was 975, maybe 968, for the break, anticipating a break of 10. But I didn't know if it would work really well. We came up to 10, and that was right here. We hit, well, first it came to 975 and then dropped. Then it came up to 10 and dropped all the way back down to 930, kind of a false breakout. And then it came up to 10 and dropped down to 966, and then it ripped up and got halted at 1054. So it did sort of a false start there. And for me, I'm at a place where typically at this point in the month, I've already either gotten halfway to my profit target on the month, which is $40,000, so I'm up 20 grand, or I've already hit my profit target on the month, and anything extra is icing on the cake. But that's not the case this month. So because this month I'm a little behind my target, I'm having to be a lot more disciplined. While the other kids are out partying, I got to still study. I've got to work hard. I've got to just be really disciplined about taking my profit when I have it, because I'm not really in the driver's seat yet. And sometimes that happens, and it's not it's not totally unusual. But because I'm in that position, because it did this sort of false start here and false start here, as soon as it broke, I wanted to add, but I didn't want to add full size. And so because I didn't want to add full size, I had to go in here instead of taking shift 1 and pressing for 3,000 shares. So if I go ZVZTT, this is a NASDAQ test stock. Shift 1, I'm in this with 3,000 shares, just like that. Okay? Well, I didn't want to take 3,000 shares of this stock because I didn't want to lose potentially $1,500. And so I had to come down here and, real quick, type in 1,000 shares. And then, type in where I wanted to place the order. And by the time I did that and had my hand ready for the buy button, it broke without me. And so then I was like, oh, shoot, it broke without me. So I was like, shift exit, I'm going to take some profits. So ZV, I'm in, and now sell half and sell half. And just like that, I'm taking some profit. And then it goes into the halt, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll hold the rest through the halt. But I really kind of, didn't trade this to the max. I could have done so much better. It comes out of the halt and squeezes from 1050 all the way up to 1170, over $1 per share, and then it drops down to 1060. It looks like it's about to halt going down, and then it bounces back up to 1170. It then pulls back, and then I got back in right here for the break of 12. So now I'm back in, and it's squeezing up, and it gets halted up here at 1283. It then resumes, it flashes down, and then rips back up, and I add it again at 1223 for the move here higher. Let's see, when it hit 1535, by that point I was all out. I had sold the last of my position on this candle here. So, I booked some profit on it and did okay. And I feel good about that. Right now, as it's consolidating, it's sort of under this level here of 1399. I would say you can see 1434 is the halt level. It's a little tough right now because it came up and double topped at this level, and that's the 200 moving average, that purple line. So we are at daily resistance and we are seeing declining volume. It's got almost 8 million shares of volume. And my guess is that there are going to be some traders with the fear of missing out on this, FOMO, who may go ahead and take trades over 14. And there may be some short sellers who are holding this and are kind of not in a great position, who are going to end up, if it continues going higher, getting squeezed out. Because what it is doing is holding the moving average. And this does look good for a break of 14. But it looks to me more like something that's going to be grinding, because now we've got 3 green candles in a row, but they're all kind of small green candles. It's not making huge moves like it was before. So if it breaks 1550, then we've got room up to 17. And that's looking at the double top here at 17. And then it starts to look good for a move up towards 20. And that may happen. I mean, this has a very low float, but I'd say it's probably going to happen without me, because I need to be disciplined about taking my money off the table and walking away. So I'm going to take my profit, $6,000 in the last 2 days. Again, as someone who's been doing this for a really long time, I'll say that I know I can still get better. There's still room for improvement. I wish I had made more on PSTV. I wish I'd been a little more aggressive in certain places, but you know what? I was a little aggressive on Wednesday, and I was a little aggressive in the wrong places, and it put me red on the day. Last Friday, I went from being green to being red on the day by taking a trade at lunchtime. So I'm going to be grateful for the profit that I have. And, here you go. Now this is coming back down. You can see it's about to get halted going down. So right there's the halt going down. So this is not what you really want to see for momentum to the long side. So anyways, that's just as well. That'll stop me from having FOMO on it, and I'll just be happy to finish the day green, finish the week green, and be starting to move back in the right direction. So we still have 2 full weeks left of August. All next week, all the week after, and then we'll have a Labor Day, first week of September, a little bit of a short week of trading. But, right now we've still got a full 2 weeks left. So if I can lock down, 10,000 next week and 10,000 the week after, I'm going to finish this month in great shape. So, that's my goal, generally 10,000 a week. And some weeks I hit it and some weeks I don't. Making 6,000 in the last 2 days. These don't feel like home run days, but boy, they get you to that $10,000 weekly goal pretty quick. So, you got to be grateful for the profits. And for some of you, who are trading 10% of my share size, and your goal is not 10,000 a week, it's 1,000 a week. You're $200 a day. It adds up. So be grateful when you make 175, live to trade another day. The next day, come back, make 225. You might not hit exactly the number every single day, but as long as you are finishing green, you're doing something that 9 out of 10 traders struggle to figure out how to do consistently. And this strategy that I've been trading, and just to kind of put it in context, not to go on a super long tangent, but I'll pull up my trader view stats here, and we can kind of look at big picture stuff. I know people get it's easy to get bent out of shape when you have a tough week of trading or you have a bad month of trading. And I've had my share of both. August and September have been tough months for me in the past. If we go here and look at liquidity, it's win-loss expectation. This is, again, the big picture. Some months are going to be a little slow, but if you're doing this as a career, you want to be doing this for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, you want to be trading a strategy that is consistently profitable. And a lot of people will say, Ross, what happens, when we go into a recession? And we'll talk about it more tomorrow. But let's just look at the S&P 500 over the last year. You know what I mean? This has been the last year. The markets, yes, we are at all-time highs, but the market dropped more than 20%, bounced back more than 20%. It's been very volatile. we've had some big red days and we've had to trade through them. And despite that, I've just kept grinding up. So, that's part of being a trader, is making sure you've got a strategy that's sustainable, that you can trade through different market conditions, and, just being consistent. So anyways, that's it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow, lunchtime, 12 noon Eastern on Facebook and YouTube Live. And come with your questions, and bring your thumbs ups and your shares. And I'm going to be asking you for them tomorrow. All right, so I'll see you guys Saturday, noontime, for a special Facebook YouTube Live. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.